Hi, everyone. Hi, so my name is Anthony Sinclair. It's lovely to meet you all again. I'm going to say a massive thank you for your time, giving up your time to come and join us today. We'll give people a little bit of time just to join before we start. You might see a face from last time. No, this is our second session. All right. So let's think about our last session. It's lovely. So for everyone who joined us, it's lovely to see you again. And for some of you joining this time, it's lovely to see you this time. Now, I am from Belfast. That's Belfast in Northern Ireland. And the weather is lovely. It is beautiful, which is quite a relief for Northern Ireland because it's quite often rainy here. But it's been a great week, really sunny all week. In England, Scotland, Wales, I hope you've had the same. I'm looking forward to the summer now. It's been a long winter, and I think we deserve a bit of lovely sunshine, a bit of warm weather. Okay, so I'm going to explain the plan. First off, we're going to do a review from our last session. That'll help you remember all the signs that we covered. Then I'm going to teach you a bit of deaf awareness. Then I'm going to teach you some new signs, and that's from the topic of the family. Okay, everyone, ready? Great. Now, the most important thing is to enjoy learning. Now, for those of you joining for the first time, I understand it's going to be a very different experience learning sign language, but sign language is a beautiful language. BSL, which stands for British Sign Language, was recognised in 2003. And that was recognition from the UK government. Now, in Northern Ireland, we're always a little bit late to the game, so it was recognised here in 2004. Now, last week I explained about sign language and the sign language ban, and that was in 1880. So what happened there was that Milan, at the Congress in Milan, decided to ban sign language. Now, it took from 1880 to 2003 to finally recognise the language again, and the deaf community were overjoyed. They really celebrated that fact, and that was life-changing, not to put it, lightly, because that opened up access to education, access to social, cultural life. Everyday life was just completely transformed. Now it's so much easier to access the world that we live in. It's a bit like now. So I have an interpreter here. You'll see her on screen. And this is the perfect example of access because it helps you and it helps me to communicate. Prior to 2003, it wouldn't have been possible to bring in an interpreter. I mean, can you imagine going into school or going into university or even your workplace and having no interpreter to support you as a deaf person? You'd be missing out on so much education. And it is because back at that time, it was considered, we were called deaf and dumb. Whereas now, we have independence, we have the opportunity for career progression. Well, that's my brief history, and that's the recap of what we've missed last week. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you. So last time we already. So now I'll teach you the signs that we learned last week or last time. Okay, so I will start with the alphabet. Okay, so we'll show you the vowels first. So this is A, E, I, O, U. So those are the vowels. Okay? Now, people can easily get confused as to which hand you point to and which hand is your base hand. Now, I am right-handed. I will hold the pen in my right hand. So the other hand becomes my paper. So if you imagine one hand being the pen and one hand being the paper, that helps you remember which hand you're pointing to. So the pen always goes to the paper and your writing hand always points to the other hand. Now, same with the letter C. Okay, so it's your writing hand. So if you're right-handed, you use your right hand to do C. But if you're left-handed, everything is opposite and you do everything with the other way around. Okay? So everybody ready? Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F. So these are two fingers on each hand together. F, G, H, I, J, J, K. Now, so it's the hand that you write with goes into a crooked finger and connects to the finger on the other hand. L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Well done. We're going to do it one more time, but this time we're going to do it a bit quicker. Okay? Now, don't worry if you get a little bit lost. You can always practice in your own time. You can have a look on Google and type in BSL alphabet. Then they'll pop up loads of resources that you can follow. Okay, everyone, ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Excellent. Well done, everyone. Okay, so now I want to ask a few questions. And it's going to be, what's your name? So first I'll teach you the signs. So this is a sign for name. 2 fingers from your forehead, name. The question is, you, so your, name what? So the question is always at the end of the sentence. Always in BSL. That's part of BSL grammar and the structure of the language. So if you remember that I'd said before that BSL has its own grammar and its own structure. Okay? So whenever you reply, me or my, name, Auntie, Anthony. Anthony. So we'll do that again one more time. What is your name? My name is Anthony. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you the question 3 times to do with your name, and I want you to reply. Everybody ready? We'll do it again. We'll do it again one more time. Great. Well done. Well done, everyone. Okay, I have one more. Do you remember that I taught you, how are you? Okay, so we're going to teach you why, we'll teach you again because some people will have missed it the first time. So this is the sign for how are you? So your hands in your chest and just copy me as I do it. How are you? Most deaf people always say well with their lip pattern as they sign it. And that's because it's one word, which in sign it's one sign, but in English there's 3 words. How are you? But then add in the facial expressions as well. So facial expressions are part of our language. I'll show you an example. First with facial expressions, then without facial expressions. Okay? How are you? How are you? Okay, so can you see the difference with facial expressions added in? It's part of the language that we use to clarify what we're saying, so engage your face as you do it, and lip pattern as well. Okay, so your response is this. I am good. Thank you. So that's a sign for thank you. Thank you. So I am good, thank you. You can say I'm happy. I'm happy. So now I'm tired. I am tired. I'm tired. Do it one more. We'll do I'm stressed. I'm stressed. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you the question 3 times to do with how you are. How are you? Well done, everybody. Okay, now I'm going to explain just very briefly a little bit of deaf awareness. It's really important whenever you meet when you meet deaf people, it's so important to maintain eye contact. Eye contact is really important. If you're distracted, if you look away, actually in deaf culture, that seen as really quite rude. I know hearing culture is very different. It's normal to look about the place as you're chatting, but in deaf culture, it's actually considered rude. So you must maintain eye contact. It can be hard for sometimes men to maintain eye contact with other men, and I appreciate that. It can seem like you're trying to stare each other out, but with a bit of practice, you will get used to it. Now, eye contact is so useful, and I'll explain why. It's good practice for romantic meals to maintain eye contact. Okay, so if you're calling someone's name and the person doesn't respond because they're deaf, then we need to talk about that. And sometimes they might hear a little bit. There's different levels of deafness. We talked about this last time, that there's different types of blindness, visual impairment. So in the same way that you can have lots of different types of visual impairment, you can have lots of levels of deafness. So if you can't get their attention by shouting their name, a small tap on the shoulder is appropriate. Now, I know here in culture, you wouldn't necessarily want to approach someone and make contact, physical contact, but in deaf culture, it's quite normal to touch, to tap someone to get their attention. It's a much more tactile kind of language and kind of culture. If someone is really far away and you can't reach them to tap, then what you can do is say to another person, would you get their attention? Or you can wave from quite some distance and try and get into their vision and get their attention that way. If you're a teacher, or if you've got a lot of children in your house, then trying to get everyone's attention at the same time can be really hard. So the best way is to flash the lights on and off a couple of times, on and off, or on and off, on and off. And then everyone knows, oh, someone's looking for my attention. You look to the light switch and you can see who it is. Now, it might be in the hearing culture that's quite rude to flash lights on and off, but I tell you, deaf culture is very different. Okay. So now I'll explain a little bit about sign language. So across the UK, there are different regions and different regional sign languages. It's a bit like, for example, I would say, let me think, I'll pick a word. I'm trying to think, what's a word that's different across regions? Oh, okay, water. So if you're from Northern Ireland, then we would sign water like this on your chin. In England, they would sign it like this, water. Water. So you can see they're very different. Now they are BSL, they're all BSL, and no matter where you are, BSL grammar structure is always the same, but it's just little vocabulary differences across the UK. Now, I often get asked why there's this variation, and honestly, it's just the same as accents. Accents from different parts of the UK are different. Scotland have their own words for things as well that are very different, so it's just the same as English. And then Northern Irish culture and Scottish culture, it's, language is so much a part of that as well, and the history of the linguistics in each region. So it's the same with sign language. Also, historically, deaf children would be sent to boarding school from the age of 4, and they would be left in boarding school from 4 up until sometimes 11. So, in those boarding schools for the deaf, they would evolve their own language, and that language would transcend through the year groups and influence the deaf community. So Manchester has a very distinct sign. Bristol has its own very distinct sign. Glasgow as well. And you can see very distinct pockets of sign language, and it's beautiful and it's an amazing thing. But we all understand each other at the end of the day. If you have the concept of sign language, then you'll be fine. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you about the family. So this is a new subject for us, a new topic, and you'll see the pictures that I've got behind me. Okay, ready? So, as I've just explained, there's different regional variations. In Northern Ireland, we would sign, well, Northern Ireland and Scotland would sign the same, and it's mother. So it's MM on your hand, mother. Or you can use the lip pattern of mum. Or mummy. It's the double M on the hand. Now in England and Wales, they would sign it mother, like this. Father. Father. So it's your two fingers together again for F, and it's a double tap. Father. Or you can say dad, but still use the same sign. So mother, father, mother, father. Grandmother, grandmother. Grandfather, grandfather. Okay? Brother, brother. Sister. So you can see it's the crooked finger on your nose, sister. Okay, so I'm going to repeat those one more time. We'll go through them. Okay. So now I'm going to point to different pictures and I want you to sign back what the sign is. Ready? What's the sign for father? Yeah, father. What's the sign for sister? Yeah, sister. Well done. What about father? Yeah, father. Grandfather? Okay. Grandfather. GF. What about brother? Brother. Well done. What about grandmother? Grandmother. We'll do one more. What about mother? Mother. Or mother. Well done. Okay, so I've got a few more to teach you. You're going to see some words up behind me. Okay, so children. Children. Son. Now, regionally, this does differ. In Northern Ireland, we would sign son. Son. In England and Scotland and Wales, son. Daughter. Daughter. Husband. Husband. So you see it's the ring finger, and you put a ring on that finger. Wife. Wife. It's actually the same sign, but with different lip pattern. Auntie. Okay, now I'm going to teach you the English, the Scottish, and the Welsh signs now for auntie, uncle, and cousin. Northern Ireland, people watching this, please don't copy me because it's different in Northern Ireland. Auntie. Auntie. Uncle. So it's actually the same sign, but remember your lip pattern's different. And now cousin. Cousin. Now for the Northern Irish ones. Auntie. Auntie. Uncle. Uncle. Cousin. Cousin. Okay. So I'm going to point to some of the words now, and I want you to try and remember what the sign is. All right, ready? Daughter. Great. Daughter. Daughter. Children. Brilliant. Children. Children. Let's do husband. Amazing. Husband. Wife. Yeah, that's right. Wife. Okay. Uncle. Excellent. Uncle or uncle. Auntie. Perfect. Auntie or auntie. Cousin. Great. Well done. Cousin or cousin. Let's do one more. Son. Yeah, well remembered. Don't worry if you forget some of them. They're easily forgotten and don't worry about it. Just keep repeating them to yourself and with repetition, then you'll remember them. Okay. So now the answer is son if you're in Northern Ireland. Son. And then the rest of the UK, son. Okay, amazing. Well done, everyone. So now I'm going to be focusing on conversation. So I'll ask a question and we'll work out the responses. Okay. Have. So I want to teach you the sign for have. 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 So if you think about a book, book. So you, book, have. Do you have a book? I have a book. Pen. So coffee. The sign is coffee. Okay. So now we're going to focus on the family. So let's see if you can watch and see if you understand what I'm saying. And the interpreter's not going to voice anything over. I'll do it again. So, do you have any brothers or sisters? And then my response was, I have one brother and four sisters. We'll do one more. Okay. So your grandchildren Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions, a question 3 times, and I want you to respond. So I'm going to encourage you to respond to those questions. Okay? Yeah. We'll do one more. Great. Well done, everyone. So now I want to add in a little bit with names. So your brother name what? My brother name B E N. Ben. So now I'm going to ask you questions and we'll see if you catch the responses on the names. So the name was Amy, that's right. So now, why don't you ask each other if you've got another person there, why don't you ask each other? Or if you're by yourself, then you can ask direct questions. Ready? Thank you for the comments. I'm actually reading them at the side of the screen as well. Because unfortunately, I can't see you, but it's lovely to see your comments coming through. So that's great. Well done. Wow, you have triplets. There's the sign, triplets. Wow, hats off to you. So it's triplets, that's the sign, 3, and then you turn around. Twins, there's the sign, twins. Triplets. One more. I'll ask you one more question. I'll do it again. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so someone has asked me, what's the sign for and? Well, actually, we don't really have a sign for and. If you have to, you can say and like this. And. But what we would normally do is place signs in our signing space. So we use placement. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you an example. I have 2 brothers. My brothers, and then I point over here, name, B-E-N, Ben, and then I'll point over here and put my other brother here and say name, M-A-R-K, Mark. So I've pointed over here to Ben, and then I've placed Mark over here. So that's how you can use placement. And then you can point and say, the age of this son is this, or this brother is this, and they live here. So you can keep referring back to where you've placed them. Because once everything's set up in your signing space, it becomes so visual. I hope that helps. Okay, Lorraine, I see your comment. You've asked me if I can teach you the numbers. Can I ask where are you from, Lorraine? Because as I've said before, there's regional differences, so numbers are going to be different, and that's why I'm asking. Well, I'll start now. So I'll teach numbers. Okay, so it's Manchester, right? So these are the English signs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's like this. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, we'll do that one more time. Okay. Right. So now we're going to finish up. But I think you have covered so much today, so many signs. Remember, we're going to have more sessions coming up in the future. We've got 6 weeks altogether, so 6 sessions. So you've plenty of learning you've done plenty of learning, and there's still plenty to do. Now, over the next week, try and practice with names, with greetings, how are you, with talking about your family. So that's the sign for family. Family. Okay, great. So I hope you all have a really lovely day. And I want to say thank you for your time coming to join us today and to watch along with us and learn some sign language as we go. And thank you so much to Virtual Village Hall for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to teach you all today. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Take care. Bye.